Today is August the 7th, 2012, and as I've shown you, even from the time the Quitman-10 were arrested, all through the call from the community about problems with the voting process in Brooks County, following through the alleged disenfranchisement of voters, right along to we walked the streets, a local pastor from Valdosta, and we heard the stories about alleged G.B.R. intimidation of voters. We walk you through the people who wanted to talk to news media outlets, who wanted to tell their stories. But it seems like there's something happening to suppress, control, and abate the truth over in Brooks County. And so we made a trip up to Macon, but before we went to Macon, we had meetings at local churches in Quitman. And we went to Walker Street Auditorium with 150 to 200 people, yet it was ignored by the South Georgia news media. We went to Atlanta, the capital, and we met with some senators and some other people who wanted to hear the stories of the Quitman-10 arrests and alleged voter fraud. They journeyed to Savannah with G.B.R. and on several occasions to tell their stories, and now we understand that they have been on national television with BET and their story is getting out across the nation. Yet it seems as if though the news in a little South Georgia town about voting irregularities don't seem to be important to 60 minutes, 48 hours, and just maybe our elected officials in the state of Georgia and even the Department of Justice. But we who understand the struggle and the plight of black folk, we cannot stop in this quest to carry on the real dream of Dr. King. You see, we can't just rely on the Reverend Joseph Lowry, and although you're looking at a picture of Representative Tyrone Brooks, who came to Valdosta as well as Brooks County several times, standing up for the people that Reverend King and others gave their life to make things better yesterday. But Tyrone Brooks and David Lucas and Helen Butler and Joseph Lowry, as I said, and others who converged on Brooks County and walked the streets and went to Macon and sat down and strategized and listened to the people who were elected by the people in Brooks County, but was removed from office by Republican Governor Nathan Deal by an executive order. Yet that same governor have not issued an executive order to look into the 30 jail deaths in the Lowndes County Jail from 1994 to 2009, and from 2009 to the present. The general public don't know how many people have died for whatever reasons, and it seems like nobody cares. But for the first time, blacks dominated, had a majority vote on the Brooks County Board of Education, and seemed like somebody didn't like that. Be that as it may. And as you know, it's been a long time, and they are still waiting to go to court. Governor Nathan Deal removed them from office before going to court. Yes. And in my most humbled opinion, I don't personally believe that they can get a fair trial in the Southern Judiciary. I just don't believe that they can get justice here. Now look, let us walk with the Honorable Tyrone Brooks, as we walk through the ghetto on the north side of Quitman, Georgia. Tyrone Brooks have been here many times, but you haven't seen him on the front page of the local newspapers for the most part, because this news is like no news at all. But to us, it is very important, because we know what we have gone through as a people. Now, let us walk with Tyrone Brooks. No, this is not his first time. And he say he's going to keep coming back, and he's going to keep coming back, and he's going to keep coming back. And you all may wonder why I do what I do. And seems like nobody seems to appreciate the work that I do. But I know that there is a God somewhere in the universe. As Dr. King says, that the God is called the goddess of Nemesis. And I know that if I stand up for truth, you don't have to embrace me. You don't have to say that what I do is important, because I know that there is a God somewhere that is moving in Representative Tyrone Brooks, that are moving in David Lucas, that are moving in Joseph Lowry, that are moving in others who respect the work of Dr. King, and those who fought so hard for us to get the rights even to go to a bathroom. They don't just sit back, imitate, duplicate, and placate the life and legacy of King, Malcolm, and others, but they're on their feet, walking their beat. Let's walk with the Honorable Tyrone Brooks. He's not up in Atlanta. He's not in Chicago. He's not in New York. He's not in Baltimore. He's not in South Florida. He's right here in Brooks County, Georgia. And let's walk through the ghetto with a man who don't have to be here, but he's here because he see a need to be here. And with what happened the other night, even the other night, which you will hear about from Commissioner James Wright, or what you believe, James Maxwell, rather. James Wright is here in Valdosta, and he's standing up strong, and we appreciate the work that he's doing on the Valdosta City Board, City Council, because he's standing strong too. But let's listen to Tyrone Brooks, and we thank God for James Maxwell as well, standing strong. And we need to stand with those people who are standing with us. This area is called Old Slab Town. For you who are across the country and left Brooks County, this is the Honorable Tyrone Brooks, one of the old civil rights warriors. Let's listen as they walk over in Slab Town. Slab Town. Can you imagine? Tyrone Brooks have not gotten so high that maybe unlike Jesse, maybe unlike Al Sharpton, maybe like Farrakhan, maybe unlike Clarence Thomas, maybe unlike some others, he traveled to the small towns to continue the work of Jesus, Martin Luther King, John Brown, and others who traveled that great line of Holy Divine. Now, Tyrone Brooks in Brooks County, the little town of Quitman, walking the streets so he can intermingle with the people as he walk his beat, so he can understand clearly the problem with elections, with the election process in Brooks County. Listen, please.
This is KVCI once again. This is George Boston Rhymes. And that's Diane Thompson on the Quitman 10 and the famous Tyrone Brooks and James Brown. And we are just walking the streets here.
Now let me stop here. James Brown, of course, is a city councilman just elected in Quitman, and he's walking with the representative and the honorable civil rights hero in his own time and by his own right, Tyrone Brooks. Listen, please.
Over in Brooks County, city of Quitman, we've been walking the streets, finding out what people had to say about the alleged voter intimidation. Today is March 31st, 2012, and tomorrow will be April Fool's Day, but this is no April Fool's Day today because this is serious business. However, we have talked quite a few people. And we're doing what we're doing.
Where you gonna go? Nowhere?
This is the second time that I have actually been out here with the Honorable Tyrone Brooks. And if you all are wondering why I use that term a lot, it's because when you pay your dues in the circles of civil rights, sometimes a lot of people don't even know the people that's fighting for them. It's just like when Jesse Jackson and those was fighting, they was fighting for me before I knew what the fight was all about. But when the Quitman-Brooks was charged with alleged voter fraud, I tell you that it really hit me because of the fact that it was the first time in Quitman-Brooks County that blacks had dominated the Board of Education.
I want to add at this juncture, the local newspapers here in South Georgia have never talked about the credentials of most of the Quitman-10. Most of them are educators. Most of them are professional people. Most of them are highly respected. They are the best, our most outstanding citizens in Brooks County. It's just ridiculous, in my most humble opinion. They are portrayed as criminals, and I'm glad that they came up with a beautiful picture. And if you check the playlist out with the Quitman-10 and just Google Quitman-10 to find out more about what's going on in Brooks County. If the news media don't want you to know what's going on, George Boston Rhymes does, and I also want you to understand that there seems to be a pattern and a practice of keeping the people deaf, dumb, and blind to the times, but not Brother Rhymes. We want you to know what's happening all the time. Let us continue.
We're about to go into someone's house here, and we're going to cut off here after she knocks on the door. We're not going to put them on camera because we respect their right to their own privacy. So we're just going to stand outside here.
I want you to personally.
But this is what we do.
How are you? This is my mom.
Wonderful. Good to be here.
Good to meet you.
Now, this is the gist. This is what, in my humble opinion, all ministers of Jesus Christ will do at dispensation. In my humble opinion, this is what all the imams on W.D. Muhammad's side of the house in Islam. This is what the imams will do under Louis Farrakhan, Nation of Islam, on his side of the house will do. This is what the rabbis that follow the teachings of the son of Amram and Yoshabel, Moses, will do. This is what those who follow Buddha and want to do the works of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob will do. They will go to the houses. They will go to the suffering people. Here at this dispensation, they won't just read and talk about and placate and duplicate and imitate the works of Jeremiah and God and Jesus and Ezekiel and David and Solomon and Esther and Deborah and Boaz and Jachang and Hiram Abiff and others, or Apostle Paul. But they will get out into the field and they will become warriors and they will stand strong for the least among us. What say you, the American people? What are we doing at this dispensation to make things better for our children and coming generations of children? Not just for little black children, but for little white right children who are far beyond the hate syndrome, who are far beyond the Democrat, Republican, Independent, Green Party, or other party, or no party. What good is a party if the people are not alive? What good are proclaiming that you are superior because you're white, or because you're black, or because you're red, yellow, or brown? We are all precious in God's sight. So I close this clip by saying to Secretary of State of the state of Georgia, we want justice. We want voting rights in Brooks County. We want justice. We want justice. Our mothers, our fathers, our sisters, our brothers, our grandmother, our great-grandmother, and all those who served this country, from Crispus Attucks in the Revolutionary War, the first person to die was a black man. We have fought in all your wars, Mr. America. And we will not stop until we have complete voting rights, civil, human, and God-given rights. We will not stop. And if we don't achieve it in our lifetime, the God of our ancestors will send others that will knock on the door of time until we win. Because somewhere I read, God have no respect of persons. And furthermore, he said, what I say unto one, I say unto all. We're in this fight, as Tyrone Brooks said, for the long haul. Reverend Joseph Lowry came to Brooks County, and it's all here on YouTube. And we are going to keep you informed, regardless of what others may try to suppress, control, and abate. What say you, people of Brooks County, South Georgia, the state of Georgia, and around the United States of America? Ask yourself, where is Tom Joyner? Where is Michael Basin? Where is Oprah? Lord have mercy. Peace be unto you. God bless you. And let the love of God and the sweet communion of his Holy Spirit rest, rule, and abide with the righteous forevermore. Amen. Thank you, Representative Tyrone Brooks. Without you and without the late Senator Brown, this issue would have remained in the backwoods of Brooks County, Georgia. Thank you so much. No thanks to CNN. No thanks to MSNBC. No thanks to, well, you get the message. Bye-bye. We go.